I love the way that the sky looks like it's got, like, the beams are like, as if the sky was an ocean. Computer. Hey. Oh. Hello. Hello. It tends to get slower when, like, there's a lot of data that's coming in. That's the case. These, like, little slat things, they remind me of, like, that Osaka sun. It's like the Japanese flag. I love how the sky's changing colors too much. Hmm. That was weird. Neat. Darn it. No, I've done it. It looked like it was like bees. It looked like it was some funky looking bee. And I had it going 3.5 times faster than it normally is, and it was visible, so I'm used to catching things that are nuances in like 30 frames per second, right? So I'm going to give it the time to show up. Yeah, there's that. That was an interesting blink, too. Okay, good. It's coming right now. That's interesting. Ooh. Oh, that one stayed there. That's interesting. That's what I saw. I was like, it looked like a bee. Okay, so then that means that what I've seen, it looks like artwork. It literally looks like artwork that comes into the screen, and it shows me that it's the same stuff. It's like living, digital, light, because it's so three-dimensional. It's so three-dimensional. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's an example of one of them. It was just like a regular camera that I was looking at, and then these shapes would pop onto the screen, and like we're talking, it looks like there's memories in here. This is just one piece of one of them. You have to look closely to appreciate it. It's like, it looks like it's a, I mean, mind you, this could be artwork. Where did I go? Allison, it's a living art. No, I didn't do this. This is the living light. This is God's realm. I'm just here to bring it to you. I didn't do this. So I mean, that's pretty awesome. If an artist was to put this together right here, I'd say it's pretty awesome. So there's more where that came from. I mean, the light is living. It's probably really good example. Yeah. You start seeing memories. You're looking down and like, this is in chair, and looking over the wall, or stairs in the back. It's like this blended memory thing. It's awesome, but crazy. And I think it's pretty experimentation research that they've been doing on memory wiping, brain upload, mind upload. Yeah, because they're plugging brains into computers, and they're seeing what happens. And they think that they know what they're looking at. They think they know what they're doing. They think they know what they're measuring. But what about all the other stuff they're not measuring? So these personalities, and mind you, whoever they're researching on, you better believe it started with like people who just died and their brain was still alive and they could like plug it in. So it started with the soul that already passed over. They figured it would make it's more humane. You know, they're just using a person's brain. They donated it. Okay, fine. But you better believe that they made sure that they got that brain the second that person died for their research and experimentation so that they could see what happens. Well, I mean, geez, that soul is lost somewhere in there. They don't know how to find it. They don't know how to know that it's there. But I know because the light shows me these memories. And this is just one example. And it's on another level. And we need to be considering this is why the future that we're forging is God's kingdom, where we respect the light, we respect the life been given. We don't do invasive things. We don't do things like that because it's not. We're not doing research on other people. We're not doing research on volunteers. If the scientist thinks it matters so much, they can do that science on themselves. Anyhow, that's a great example of this type of intelligence. Excuse me. Pardon me. Thank you. All right then. Back to. Wow. Gotta keep it steady. Oops. Oops. Because I did it too many times and it's just fine. It's just fine. So in the same way that the light is living, like that digital bird looking like thing, so also is this everywhere. The atmosphere, it's got water in it, so it's little lenses. So they talk about the von Neumann probes to describe, the concept of self-replicating probes. And in all essence, excluding the artificial aspect of man-made, probes, the light does it already. The lens does it already. The lens and the light create A, a dimension to exist in, and B, a dimension to be existing in. And C, a dimension to be existing in. But seriously, so that's why I even consider this the truth, these lenses that look into our space, right? The telescopes, right? So because I've been documenting this for the last number of years. I got lots of examples of living light, and the languages. I got languages underneath it. This one's doing it in front of us, but I found layers of language underneath it. So Atlas, I've seen the living light present itself because I'm in communication with the cosmos. I'm the one who's got that connection to the council and to the spirit. Not the only one. I'm here to show us how to do that, but we all can do it. And so the same way that our telescope looks out at stars out there, I don't see any reason why it would be impossible for a living light that lives in these dimensional places to present to our telescope viewers what looks like something approaching. But how do we know it really is? I'm just saying it. I just thought I'd be putting it out there, especially because everybody here on this planet is so dramatic and paranoid. I don't think we need to be worried. And, it's just so dramatic. The headlines are always so dramatic. I mean, geez. I don't think that anything that can have that type of technology to travel interstellar is going to come here and just fuck with us. They obviously can come whenever they want then. And that means they obviously have access to other places, which means they probably also have a home. You know what I mean? I don't believe we have to be worrying about them. And I think that we need to start acting more appropriate. We need to stop acting like paranoid weirdo heads. These guys are holed up. They'll start shooting at things just if it approaches. It's like, you're dumb. You guys act like you don't know if there's even UFOs. You don't even want to talk about it. The fact that there's frequencies talking all day long. So I personally think that we look pretty dumb as a planet right now. I think that Atlas should say something to us like, hey, well, what, just in case there is a thing like the Mayans are gone and Egyptians are gone and many other civilizations, just in case they left because they can come back, just in case that's them on their way over to see how things are coming along, because we're at this transition, the transition from animal to intelligent. We are going to cross the veil, guys. The actual, that veil, it's a very thin line between two different ethers, but there is a veil and you can cross it. And we're approaching that moment. And it's an important thing. We have to have our frequency in the proper place to graduate, to become intelligent beings. That's exactly why I would know everything. That's why when I saw Atlas, I'm like, they're on their way. Yes, because family does that for family. Mankind doesn't get to stomp around and just decide he wants to fart on everything. And that's him and his girlfriend, Adam and Lilith. They're coming. And I have every reason to know that it's to see to it that planet Earth, because Earth is the child of the sun, solar system, family, they're seeing to it that Earth makes it across the veil, into the living waters safely. And that includes all of Earth's habitats and wildlife. We need to stop acting like paranoid weirdo heads. That's why I'm here. I'm here to stand up for us and to take the heat from mom and dad if that's the case. The point is we need to unify to get into the gates, all of us. We're not getting to play the game of, what is it? Judge and jury. God's got that handled. And it's also an insult to see how these countries claim to have authority, like under God. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in God. They don't respect it. If they did, let's start with that in the first place. So, it's going to be like ripping the Band-Aid off. When the news gets this story so that we can all come around to the table and talk about what is and we can correct what it isn't. There's lots of layers of truth in spiritual study, and they all are valid. The spiritual truth that people find is valid. We're gonna have a site where we put all of our doctrines, because we're gonna have a new computing system that doesn't leave you vulnerable to commercials and hackers and all this stuff. We're gonna be self-governed, self-archiving, peaceful people of planet Earth. Self-governed. We're going to make our own communities. We're going to work in a consensus poll. We're all going to connect and talk to one another about it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that we get that everybody's not just like heard, but answered. That's what I'm going to guess. And this involves the offer for everybody. You got to think about this. Pardon me. We've been on an orbit outside of the living waters. So it's been 230 million years. We've been, oh my God, this is awesome, outside the living waters. And we're approaching, love has been pulling us back home. That's what's been traveling us through this dark pass on the orbit, love. We started, like caveman came about, like we're talking just the evolution of life, right? This cycle we're ending, there's 9 degrees of it that started at the beginning of this timeline, the Big Bang, about 16.4 billion years. There's only 9 degrees of it. And it's like 5% of the previous number. So the 9th degree is only 234 days. Remember back in 2012, they tried to say the Mayan calendar was ending? Well, what they were talking about was the end of the 7th degree, which was 256 years, and it began in 1756. 1756 began that 7th degree. 8th degree began October 31st, 2012. Right? It's like, leave the camera there, mister. No. I think there needs to be a joystick. I can rent one. Anyway, it's a great idea. All the cameras. I want 360-degree cameras too, everywhere. Seeing the sky is important because you can see through the lens a lot more than you will with your own eyeballs. So lots of research can be done from behind the desktop. Anyway, so we've been on this orbital pass, and we've been evolving. It's evolution of creation. Right? Got it? I mean, that makes exact sense. I didn't understand why anyone was debating about it. Like, what do you mean? Evolution or creation? It's evolution of creation. Just a little bit better. It's just a little bit better than trying to pick a side. It's a little bit better to be quantumly entangled. It's a little bit better to be like one and the other. And see, they want to deny that, but I think it sounds ridiculous to deny it. It's like, on one hand, I agree that da-da-da-da, but I can also understand why. Right. So being one and the other is actually natural. It's considerate to be able to understand things from multiple perspectives. Yeah. Winning and losing. We need to see the truth in everything. So, this orbital pass, we've been entering into the living waters, and that's the end of the 234 day, 9th degree. And that ends April of 2026. It started August 18th. That began the 9th degree in these 234 days. So the days of Daniel have passed. We're in universal consciousness. It's important to know that, because the biblical people don't even want to act like the days of Daniel began. They're trying to like still sell us on a tribulation so they can get their money's worth, but the days are done. And that's because it's talking about me. The Bible, the truth in the Holy Word is telling my daughter and my story. And we began here in Zep-Tepi, original ancient Egypt. That's the Alpha and the Omega, meaning we're here in the beginning and we're here in the end. But it's actually the Omega to Alpha transition that my daughter and I are here to help humanity enter into the living waters. We've been seeking one another this entire time. What am I talking about? Well, interestingly enough, those fallen angels, that story that started with Adam was created and she came out of his rib, that's a reinterpretation basically by the fallen angels who wanted to insert themselves into the human genome. And that's what they said they did. They meddled with our genes to make a slave race to get the gold. Well, we're that race, and we're still working on it. Maybe it's the Anunnakis coming back. Well, in either event, the sky gods have given me the scepter of Mars. So I know that I'm the next level of when they get anybody that gets here is looking to talk to me, and that's just what it is. So I already know we don't need to be scared of anything. Says me. I mean, it's just the truth. Anyway, fallen angels in the story. It's my story and my daughter's. And that's the reason for it is because that testimony in there is God's witness to my testimony and my daughter's testimony. She's the reincarnate of Jesus. I'm the reincarnate of Mary, but not just Mary the mother, Mary Magdalene. Mary, the mother of Jesus, died in the mountains. She died. And she was reborn as Mary Magdalene. Yeah, that's what happened. That's why Jesus and Mary were such a powerful item. Because, and in the second book of Acts, it talks about that, how they're a twin flame. They are always doing this life thing together. They were Noah. They were Socrates. This her, him thing. Right, but in all truth, Alexandria and I is a mother and a daughter, because that's how you have eternal life. That's that John 3:16. We were an original mother and daughter, Hathor and Isis in the beginning. And here we are, a mother and daughter. And that's what it needed to be. So Jesus wasn't able to be the Christ. Jesus was slaughtered. Jesus was slaughtered, and they exploited the name, the likeness, and the truth. Because if you look it up, it's like, what does the people need to see to believe that Christ is here? And it's like, Christ already happened. Jesus is the Messiah. What are you talking about? Messiah of what? I'm not trying to tease Jesus. That's my daughter. I'm saying, how can a dead person be anybody's Messiah? Don't we need one right now? Well, if he already happened, then what are they talking about? Exactly. They wanted to talk us out of believing that we were looking for anybody. They wanted to talk us in to believing that God would send a child to die, which is just insanity. No one would even admit that, let alone God. And Jesus didn't choose to die. He was surrounded by gang stalkers, a.k.a. disciples. Yeah, that's right. I know exactly what the story's talking about. When he's talking about going down to turn tables, these disciples are being snarky. That's right, they're gang stalkers, trying to keep their eyes on him, citizen scientists, because they were always planning on throwing him under the bus and turning him in for the money. Yeah. Just like a modern day bounty hunters. Okay, that's what it is. So, the world isn't necessarily prepared to hear the truth, but the reality is when you hear the truth, it finally makes you feel good, like, that's what I was looking for. Like, I knew what they were saying didn't make so much sense. Right, well, the information I have to bring to us, which is the message, I'm the messenger, it calls us all the things, and in that part of the story, it'll describe us like we're beasts, and in that part of the story, it'll describe us like we're witnesses, and we're out throughout the whole thing, and that's why, because I can find our testimony in it, and I can prove to you people that layer is talking about now. The layer they wanted to read was applicable to their layer, but their point in time, not now. This is what's applicable now. And it's got precision. The days of Daniel are precise. Precise. And here's the interesting thing, because God's been guiding me since my child was kidnapped, October 25th, 2016. That's the beginning of the days of Daniel. And it leads to the end of it, which takes us to the day that I was conceived, which was the wow signal. I have the divine strand. It's a third strand of God, like it says in John 3:16. It's a mono strand. Right, so add it to my other two. So we got this third strand. The third cord, what is it, a 3-strand cord is stronger than anything? Yeah, that's the mono gene from John 3:16, and I've got it. And they knew it. That's the scientists, the doctors, everybody. They were looking for it, they found it. And they stole it. They kept it secret from me and told my family I was like the spawn of the devil, because man has been working out how to insert his alien self into our human genome. Woman was the native creation. Man is a fallen angel that bred with us when God was the one impregnating us. So they've been inserting themselves. That's why they study DNA, not RNA. Even though RNA is talking about what's happening now. And they stole my genes to do that human genome mapping. And they stole my information. That's a trade secret, by the way. Don't step on Coca-Cola's toes. Don't step on Microsoft's toes for their trade secrets. Oh, my $1 trillion trade secret, they just thought they'd kill me over it. Well, guess what? That proves that they don't believe in God. Because here I am. Because God saves me and protects me, just like it says it will. God says, don't even fuck with her. Any sword that is raised up against her will be returned with justice. And that's what it is. It's that woman sitting on the beast, covered in blasphemy, holding the cup of wrath. It's describing, again, all these parts of the story. That's the woman of Revelation. Because I'm also Archangel Michael. That's my higher self that is connected to source. That's my higher self. And each of us are complete. Each of us have a connection to source. So by the way, like I said, universal consciousness got me in all this with you. And that means you're Michael, you're Micah, your spiritual double. tell, the Lord of my spirit. Everybody's got access to it. Everyone's complete. No excuses. You're masculine, you're feminine, you're everything you need. You're the source, and you have access to know what you need to know when you need to know it. All you need to know is how to access source. And I teach you how to do that, not by teaching you and telling you, by demonstrating it, by example, A, B, by showing you the evidence that I've collected and gathered throughout this. I've documented it and intelligent agencies have been doing surveillance on me and monitoring me since I was born. I had to find out myself thanks to the help of God. Otherwise, I wouldn't have found it. It was buried information, hidden and ambiguated, that nobody would ever know how to find it. It's going to God. So, I'm here to show us and show us proof of it. God doesn't ask us to have blind faith. And that's what everybody needs. Now, once I show you and I can answer questions and try to help, we're all going to get there. That's the end of the mystery of God. And it all makes sense. And so here's what's going on with Satan right now. They're 1,000 years. No. 1,000 years represents a term that identifies like 1,000 means like 10 times 10 times to completion with everybody. There's no man left behind. And years indicates a term for like an event. So when there's 1,000 years, it's like the God clock strikes. It's got entering into the living waters, cross his element. And no one is left behind. And that's the instructions. And that's what I knew is God lets me figure out things, and then God shows me to find it where it says it already. So God's been put this prophecy is there for God to use to prove to me that God is actually working in my life. Without that, it'd be speculation. The prophecy has been helping me verify that God is working in my life because I'm able to find my testimony in there that God's a witness to, and it's that powerful. Oh yeah, that's right. It's that powerful. And I'm not here to say I'm better than anybody. My daughter and I happen to be the ones who have been slaughtered every single time we've been here. So yeah, we've earned the crown, we've earned the kingdom, and we've earned the time with one another as mother and child. They've slaughtered us every time. And it's just not acceptable. I won't tolerate it. But this thing is for a purpose. Why would God let this thing happen? Well, God, you know this. That this doesn't make sense to expect everything to be perfect. That doesn't make sense either. You have to learn. Because God's not trying to be micromanaging. We're supposed to evolve and become life beings. We can create our own universes. And we got to take it one step at a time. That's why we need to realize that we're going from animal to intelligence. So it's not the end of the world, it's the beginning of the next level. So we're talking the next level. This first one is being the manifesting of the material world. That's the animal state. So to all the people that are head over heels in love with their state and with their ritual sacrifice, I'm here to tell you, well, you can dream about it all day long, and you can dream your way right into purgatory, because if you don't make it, you don't make it. So if you're head over heels in love with being an animal, then stay being an animal. We're going to go be intelligent now. In case you want to know, FYI, it doesn't mean you're condemned if you had a steak last night. I'm talking the future we're forging isn't going to have slaughterhouses. No, there's plenty of vegetation that is delicious and wonderfully nutritious here already for us, and we grow. We don't want fertility to taste good. So we're going to get a lot of awesome bells and whistles. And I'm here to let everybody know that we're going to get them. Because again, I don't have any strategy. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm here to get everybody excited to get to the states. I want to get everybody motivated to be unifying as one world and telling everybody to knock it off already and listen to Allison. We've got God. We've got God's kingdom right around the corner. We've got a celestial event we've got to accomplish. I'm here as our captain, and I'm here to lead us into this. And we've got such a small amount of time, we don't have time to fuck around with it. We don't have time to try to control it. We don't have time to try to, control it. So that's great news. That's great news for all of us who are just like tired of this nonsense and ready to have it as big as well. It's not going to be too good to be true. It's not only going to be everything you would imagine, but and then some. Because God does the plus one. And this is honestly our opportunity. For whatever we have been doing or feeling or studying or thinking, God isn't the petty guy. Church. I'm here to correct it. I'm here to correct what everyone's impressions are that are incorrect. God is loving. God is non-invasive. God meets me on my field, like I said. God lets me carry out my circumstance, and then God leads me to find my story or where it's written in that prophecy. That's how God does it. Because God's going, yep, look, check this out. And I'm like, what? Oh, hell no. And we're talking all up in Isaiah. We're talking Isaiah 47, 48 to the T. I mean, I'm getting chills on my elbows. It's precise. And that is wild. And what's wild about it even more so is that Bible wasn't found. That's a compilation of things that were put together from the texts that were found around the world. We're talking Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic. These are pieces and components of text that was found, that was compiled by man into the Bible we have. Right. So this is what God, this is one of the reasons why God does it this way. Because by doing it this way, with me being able to now read the true translation of my testimony in there, using the concordance, God proves that God works around their fuckery. Like, even though they think they're in charge, even though they're doing things their way, God is proving to us through this story that God had control over the thing from the beginning to the end, saw their fuckery, worked around it, and still got us all to the gates with a happily ever after. Now that is God level. That's God level. And that's awesome. Yeah. I love how it's like little beams. If I can only hold it, Jerica. And the beams look like they're scanning. And we're gonna get orbs. The orbs are already here. I asked for them. Whoa. This is God talking right now. Wow. Mm-hmm. Get off. Okay. It almost looks like he's holding those beams, like. Till it shifts again. It's beautiful. Hmm. $38. Ooh. I saw that. Oh, Alexandria. Oh, whoa. Look at this. So it looks kind of like clouds, but it actually looks like this is a ship like turning. Oops. And this is confirmation of it. There's a piece in the Quran that talks about how when requesting entrance, right, these living waters, the veil that we have to cross, when requesting entrance, it'll be granted when you request while the sun is still prostrating up to the throne, and that's what this is. It's depicting a prostrating up to the throne. And then it says if you wait till the sun does not rise, when the sky goes dark, then it'll be too late, and you'll have to return to where you came from. And that's talking about the qualifying and the qualification. So beautiful. Look at that. That is so cool. That fog that's the cloud cover that's climbing over the ocean. It actually does look like that Osaka sun. Like if these beams were going out, like that flag that's red and white with the beams or the rays they call it. It looks a lot like it. It's beautiful. Anyhow, so I'm probably going to record the rest of this later on, suppose, because this I know is just about ready to start getting good. So, but I'm going to let it process so that I can speed up this pace. So you guys have yourselves a great afternoon, wherever you are. Know that God loves you, and that Christ is here to to help us get into the gates. And my daughter is being held hostage. Jesus is being held hostage by the government, the world's medical and science fields, because they just want to be able to fuck around. They just want the world to be able to be at their fingertips, at their disposal, but it's God's cosmos. And this is what God said was going to happen a long time ago at a specific point in time, because it's a celestial season and it's mandatory. So we need to get them to feel warm and fuzzy about giving me my daughter back already and letting me lead us into unification. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my page has a lot of recordings and discussions about this, so you can find a lot of information there if you want to poke around. And until next time, guys, talk to you then. I love you, Alec, more than anything in existence. Always and forever.